Good day everyone, this is Reymarck D. Semana. With me in this study, Mr. Darwin D. Natividad and Dr. Alvin S. Romen. The title of our study is Bida, Handa Komiks, an intervention to improve earthquake preparedness of key stage 2 learners in the reopening of face-to-face classes. One of the disaster preparedness interventions initiated by the Department of Education is the quarterly conduct of the national school-based earthquake and fire drills that was made mandatory through DepEd Order No. 48 series of 2012. However, when the COVID-19 pandemic started to strike in the country, the building of disaster preparedness among learners had shifted to virtual due to the prohibition of face-to-face conduct of classes. The National Simultaneous Earthquake Drill or NSET was usually done at home and facilitated virtually. This platform cannot secure 100% participation of the learners due to their lack of means to access this virtual platform. Earthquake, however, is no excuse for everyone. As stressed by the United Nations Disaster Risk Reduction 2020, children's vulnerability to disasters is expected to increase as the frequency and intensity of natural hazards continue to rise due to climate change. To bridge the gap in building earthquake preparedness, this study was conducted to determine the effectiveness of the Bida Handa Komiks in improving earthquake preparedness. Here is the research questions in this study.
The following are some of the key literatures reviewed by the researchers.
The participants of this study were the 139 key Stage 2 pupils who were randomly selected. For the data collection, the first phase was the preparation and validation of research instrument and also the conduct of pretest. For the second phase was the conduct of the intervention using the Bida and the comics. For the third phase was the conduct of posttest. This study also includes the ethical issues, and for the data analysis, the researchers used the weighted mean and per t-test. As revealed by the table, the level of earthquake preparedness of the participants before the intervention was rated low as shown by the computed mean score of 6.19 and with the standard deviation of 1.71, which implies that the scores were close and not affected by stream scores. The level of earthquake preparedness of the participants after their exposure to the Bida Handa Komiks was improved by 6.26 as shown by the computed post-test mean score of 12.45 interpreted as high. The computed t-value of 19.81 is greater than the critical t-value of 1.98 at 0.05 level of significance with 138 degrees of freedom. Therefore, the null hypothesis is stating that there is no significant improvement in the pupils' earthquake preparedness after their exposure to Bida Handa Komiks is rejected, and the alternative hypothesis is stating that there is a significant improvement in the pupils' earthquake preparedness after exposure to Bida Handa Komiks is accepted. The level of earthquake preparedness of the key stage 2 learners before exposure to Bida Handa Komiks was low. This implies that intervention is needed. This finding contradicts the finding of SUA 2019 who found that before the COVID-19 pandemic, learners in the public school possess a highly prepared level of disaster preparedness. This may be inferred that due to the closure of face-to-face classes for 2 consecutive school years, during the COVID-19 pandemic, learners had limited exposure when it comes to building their earthquake preparedness and leaving them unprepared for the unpredicted occurrence of earthquake. After exposure to Bida Handa Komiks, the level of earthquake preparedness of the participants was improved from low to high level. During the interview with the teachers, they mentioned that learners were enjoying reading the comic strips. The illustration gives their interest, and the contextualized nature of the concept in the comic strips sustained their eagerness to learn, which yielded a positive effect on the earthquake preparedness. This finding was supported by the finding of Sompang and Enteria 2019, who found that developing comic strip as instructional materials is an effective approach in improving performance and life skill of learners because it sustains interest and curiosity. The Bida Handa Komiks was effective strategy in improving the earthquake preparedness of key stage 2. The same finding was found by Sharpe and Sadka 2014, who concluded that comic strip on earthquakes can positively influence learners' earthquake preparedness.
Following are the recommendations of this study.